Hello everyone, welcome to another Agacad webinar. This time the topic is, it's panel packet. That's going to be at the center point of the webinar. We're going to look at how we can sort, pack, stack prefabricated panels in Revit and how that would be done using the panel packer. I hope the sound is coming through fine. So if you have any issues with sound or you have just some general questions about the product, you can, the questions about panel packing, keep them for the end and then write down in the questions or chat tabs. But if you have issues with sound, also just write something straight away so we can have a look at that. Okay, check something. All right, great. Okay, so panel pack is quite a new addition to Agacad portfolio of software. It would mainly go together with wood framing, metal framing, or precast concrete. It is not included into those packages. It kind of comes separate, but it's best used with those packages. So I'll quickly introduce myself as well. My name is Povilas. I'm 30 years old, a BIM application engineer here in Agacad. I'm a graduate of architecture at the University of Strathclyde in Glasgow. I'm also certified Autodesk Revit professional. Just a brief background of myself. So before I joined Agacad 3 years ago, I worked in London for an architectural practice, and I built experience working on several construction sites. Today, I'm responsible for the software implementation, development, and technical support with all sizes of businesses that we come across. Having this practical construction background in combination with BIM and software knowledge does help me to kind of tailor the right design, modeling solutions, and workflows for my customers. I'm also your contact for wood and metal framing software, and also the CNC exporting for both wood and metal. And of course, a panel packer. Okay, so I've been long enough with Agacad to kind of get my kind of feet into different kinds of projects that our clients are working on. So these come from different backgrounds and kind of, in terms of the area or geography, comes all over the world really. And different companies of different sizes kind of use our software in slightly different ways. But the aim or the goal of the software is to kind of be versatile enough to kind of accommodate different kinds of building regulations or standards when it comes to, different countries and regions. Okay, so the key idea is to build BIM together, so that when the client side comes to play with Agacad and us here working at Agacad, it's how the software kind of propels forward, and it's how it's being developed. And has been developed for quite a while. So with the help of the clients that face actual issues when it comes to the site management, when it comes to the production facilities or actual, exporting information from Revit to CNC or other formats, that's where we come together and kind of try to find solutions to accommodate those demands or needs. So the first Revit add-ons that we developed were back in 2008, so quite a while back, and they looked very different from what they look like today, especially when we talk about the user interface and also the user experience. So the functionality has expanded, but we're also trying to kind of make this user-friendly as much as possible, and that's always, I guess, the goal. One of the goals. So we also we are Autodesk architecture, engineering, construction industry partner, and we are now part of European Digital Transformation Leader Archon's not recent. That happened about a year ago. So we're now part of kind of the larger thing as well. So we have, client testimonials going back some years ago. There are some older ones, some more recent. So in the slide, you can just see some examples or some current clients that have gave feedback about using the software and how the software benefits the workflows and the overall company performance. So you can have a look at those on Agacad webpage as well. So in front of you now see the full Agacad software portfolio. We have key areas like metal framing, wood framing, precast concrete, MEP hangers. So Panel Packer kind of falls under BIM solutions for Revit professionals, obviously. It doesn't fall into the wood framing or metal framing specifically. It's kind of overarching some multiple disciplines. Well, it's wood framing, timber, metal, or precast. So you can see its icon, and you will be able to find it on our webpage or in the doc. Today we'll look at some of the kind of concept of the Panel Packer, how it works, what's inside of it, what's the functionality, what's the workflow. We'll look at the families, parameters, and placing or creating those bundles or stacks, and so on. Okay, so I'll now switch to, I was going to switch to Revit model, but actually what I'll do is go to the webpage for those users who are kind of new to Agacad or have not used any software of Agacad. Then I would probably guide you to Agacad webpage in the first place, and under products you will be able to identify the Panel Packer. It's over there. You can press on that and you will be taken to the kind of product information page. You can read things through and watch this video that's there as well. That's just the simple kind of key information. We have free trial as well over here. So the free trial will take you to the doc webpage within agacad.com, and from here you can download the tools for BIM doc. This is actually the only way how you can access the software or start using trial of the software is by downloading, installing the tools for BIM doc. So we have the last 3 versions. Obviously 2023 is coming out soon, so we'll have that as well. So you just download the tools for BIM doc, install it on your workstation, and when you open your Revit session, you will see this new tab appear at the top of your Revit ribbon that says Tools for BIM. So you press on that, and you go for Show Doc. Now, in the doc, you have the entire portfolio of the software, and you just navigate to whatever piece of software you're interested in. If you're going for wood framing, you obviously go there, and you have different packages available, and each package consists of pieces of software or add-ons that kind of bundled together in a package. So if we're going for Panel Packer, just go for the Panel Packer, and it's really it's not a package; it's just a tool on its own. And because I have now my license has Panel Packer activated, in your case you will see a different kind of page over here. So it will ask you whether you want to begin a trial. So you can do that. The trial is 14 days, and you can kind of try out the software. Same goes for wood framing, for metal framing, and other parts of the software. So that's the tools for BIM doc. And now, once you activate Panel Packer, it's currently housed under T4R CNC, actually. This probably is going to change in the future, but it's currently over there. So tools for Revit CNC. So if you press on that tab, and you can pull out the Panel Packer. Just from looking at it, I mean, it's quite a compact piece of tool. It's not too complex. It's based on configurations, just like our wood framing or metal framing. And yeah, it's kind of it's quite, you know, compact, I would say. So the next bit I want to highlight is the e-help. So for the new users or those who don't know how to use Panel Packer, what it is exactly, what it does, you can navigate to e-help page, online help page from e-help button. So in here you have some technical documentation you can read through, some links to webinars and other video kind of material, but also the sample projects, both in metric and imperial. Yeah, so going back all the way to 2019. So you can download those and, you know, kind of start there. That would be a good place to start, actually. Okay, so now looking at the functionality of Panel Packer, if I expand this box over here, as you can see, so we have the configurations, files location. That's where we can switch between different configuration sets. The key moment here is to build packing configurations based on parameters of your elements in Revit. So we'll have a look at that. Actually, I'll demonstrate a few configuration examples. But just from the looks of it, you can notice that we can pack walls, floors, and roofs. Those have to be assemblies. It cannot be just a wall element. It has to be an assembly, Revit assembly. We can pack just selected wall, floor, roof assemblies as well, or we can pack all structural framing based on, again, some packing configuration we have come up with. So we can pack structural framing members as well. That means structural framing Revit families. Okay, so in this example over here, we have walls modeled in Revit. So just using Revit functionality, we have modeled some walls. And we have numbered our walls in the way so that it will describe the level in which the wall is placed or modeled, and whether it's external or internal wall, and then by wall ID. You know, each wall has its own unique ID. So I guess that's you know, the starting point. You need to kind of know which parameters are you gonna go by to build and define your panel packer configurations. It's based on those kind of parameters. So level 3 external wall 40, this kind of format or numbering convention does help me to then later identify and stack all the walls based on level, based on interior and exterior walls, etc. So that's first step, what has been done in this project. The next step, we have used wood framing in this case, Wall Plus, and produced a framework for all of those walls that we had modeled. So it's quite straightforward framing. There's nothing too special about it. We have some windows, have some doors, and all the walls placed at the corresponding levels. Now, once we've done that, we have created assemblies, and each wall structural framing assembly, by the name of the marked parameter of the wall itself, has again quite a few parameters over here. So we have those framing truck type, column number, and row number. Those 4 parameters come together with Panel Packer, and those will be filled in when we move into kind of packing or sorting stage. But generally, we have things like just dimensions, weights, depth, mass, all these kind of typical things that we can produce with Wall Plus. But yeah, so back to the naming convention that will be useful for us. And also what I've done in the comments section, I've named Unit A and Unit B. So I've split my building based on the 2 units that I've thought of. So that's just an example, I guess. So you can use any empty comments or any kind of create new parameters and fill them in with some identity information. So later on you can sort the assemblies easier. Okay, and now if I go and pack all wall assemblies, And these are the configurations I have created at the moment. So I can pack only unit A by level, only unit B by level, level 1 structural frame, yeah. So interior versus exterior by level. So different kinds of configurations I can come up with. And I believe this will be also the set of configurations you will see, because you will start with default set of configurations upon which you're going to build your own kind of your own database of configurations. So if I go to pack walls, okay, perhaps this one, so level 1 to level 4, 1 floor per stack. So each stack will house assemblies for entire floor. Those will be placed vertically. And in this one, I don't think I am sort of differentiating between unit A and B. So you press OK, and then kind of press on the empty space really anyway. You can switch to plan view. You can kind of press on anywhere that is not going to get in the way of something else, so just somewhere on some empty space, I guess, in 3D view or plan view. Now, the configuration is set up so that by each click on my left mouse button, I will create a new bundle or new stack. So level 1 is just over here. Can create level 2 stack. Okay, level 3 and level 4 eventually. So it's kind of a subjective, I guess, just pressing on an empty space. But that's just to allow the software to kind of create the stacks. You later on can move those stacks or bundles anywhere you like, really. Place them in design options, place them in phase options, in work sets, actually. You can do that as well. Now, I can also, well, you can notice that the colors have changed to indicate what has happened in terms of stacking. So the color comes from this is actually a sample project. You will have exact same project if you download that. So the color coding comes from the filters I've applied. Actually, before going into filters, if I select each or just one assembly, I can see that those 4 parameters have been filled in. So that's just a truck type. You can say this is just a truck name or a stack or a bundle name. So that's the name, the column number, truck number, row number. So we know exactly where this assembly belongs to. We can actually identify just by looking at the colors. Okay. And now, if I go to graphics and visibility overrides and go to filters, I can see that, well, I have set up some filters actually and incorporated some color coding. So the filter is enabled, and actually if I go into the filters, you can see I have kind of 10 different filters, and each filter really is looking at framing truck number. So truck number equals 2 or 10, that will be a different color based on the coloring the filters. That's the idea, and I find this quite convenient to kind of use the color coding throughout the project, whether it's a 3D view or plan view. It just brings a kind of some more clarity, I guess, to the project. So the other bit is that, well, we can see this. The elements are placed vertically in the stack, and what has happened is that each stack is an assembly of its own right, but that's a generic model assembly, and that is because, well, I can go into the assembly and select any element. That is because the family we use to rip. Okay, so the concept is that the panel packer comes with just one family, and that's the family, the generic model framing assembly AW1. Okay. And it has information as well, and that information is inherited from the actual assembly. So the parameter values have been taken from the assembly, and we know which assembly. So this one represents L1EW16 wall assembly. It represents that in the way of size, depth, height, length, mass, volume, and we know exactly which assembly it is. So that's pretty much the idea. So it's looking at each assembly, size, and other identity data information, and reproduces all that information in the form of generic model family. That is made correct in terms of size, proportion, and naming as well. And it is placed in the stack based on the configurations we have used. So that's why it is a generic model assembly, because it contains generic model Revit families, and it's also an assembly. You can disassemble, I guess, kind of shuffle the stack, but that's the point of this is to kind of use configurations and put together stacks of wall, floor, roof assemblies or panels. So if you disassemble this, we can do that, but it's kind of losing the point of using the panel packet. So that's a generic model family. We can zoom in and we can see the marking actually tells us here what it is. We have some type parameters. Materials, so name material. Okay, so that's general material for this. I mean, we can change how this looks. Name, depth, text style, we can change that. We can apply also material to the text, I guess. You probably just want to apply something that could maybe, I don't know, black or anything that would stand out. Okay, so that way you can kind of identify just looking by, the color coding or just looking at the marking of each assembly, or you can create a schedule and have all of these, generic model families that represent your assemblies shown in the schedule. And you can schedule things based on a bundle or stack. You can also go into the family, make some modifications when it comes to just, graphics, visibility, text, etc. So you can do that. And now if I go to level 3, okay, so we have the 4 stacks kind of all over the place. Okay, the other thing, please note, is that so if we go back to 3D view, they are placed in transportation phase. That's, I think, default to Revit. So you can create any phase and place those bundles or stacks in a particular phase. You can go into packing configurations and set up in which phase this will be placed. I've chosen transportation. So if I switch to new construction, sorry, did I place this one? Okay, I wanted to switch my view to new construction, and in that way, kind of the stacks or bundles are not in the way. So that's perhaps a convenient kind of thing to have. So going back to this view, okay, I'm able to read what is where, and also should be able to move those stacks as well. So you can move them anywhere you like. What level is it? Okay. Also tells me stack number 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So so you can move things around, obviously. Yeah, so that's pretty much an idea. And I guess that's really the functionality. I mean, that should be kind of positioned properly in the 3D space. But that's pretty much the functionality. I don't want to go into the configurations too much. We could have packed our walls using different kind of configuration, but yeah, that's depends how you set this up. If I quickly go into packing configurations, these are different configurations. Some common settings: you can change the name, spacing between the panels, etc. Stack placements by single point or separate points. We've done 4 separate points actually in our example, and the phase as well. And over here, that's where we define how the stacks, based on what parameters the stacks will be defined and put together. Yeah, so we're choosing certain parameters. We're taking the first or the second or third value of that parameter and kind of adjusting things that way. We also have the filtering and stack orientation. Yeah, so that's kind of compact set of functionality as well. I guess the main area is over here, the stacking loading settings based on the parameters. Yeah, so that's pretty much an idea. And yeah, so also these are all different assemblies, and also have sorry, that's the assemble schedule. That's my legend. I'm looking for my sheets, which is over here. So then you can place things on the sheets. I have created legend based on the color coding, and I also have assembly schedule. So that's just an example, how we can then put together sheets with schedules and views if you are kind of defining your stacks, and the sequence when the stacks will be delivered on site, if that's a site work or the facility. So probably just like to place a 3D view. So yeah, so we want to change the scale. And kind of go from there. I mean, we can use smart views to produce more elaborate kinds of views if that's necessary. So there are other parts of the software that would complement the panel packer as well. I guess the other bit would like to mention is that the panel packer uses sort of linear programming or optimization algorithm. So this allows panel packer to do what it does best and is designed for. That is to minimize the waste. In this case, the waste of space in the stack of wall panels. It takes all the sizes of wall assemblies and shuffles them in each stack to optimize for the best use of space with the given height and length values that come from the assembly. That's basically assembly size. So that's the idea. It kind of works to reduce or optimize for the use of space. So like with other tools, I mean, there are plans to so bring in new functionality or extend existing functionality, and kind of make panel packer as intelligent as we can make. There's room for that, I believe, and yeah. Well, we see in the future will probably be a more kind of elaborate versions of panel packer. Okay, so that's pretty much that, and I guess the few takeaways would be that the panel packer can utilize some of the latest industry trends or constructions of methodology, especially when we move more and more towards prefabricated offsite construction. Well, at least what I'm seeing from our client base, that a lot of this is kind of moving to the prefabricated construction. Also, when it comes to the CNC and kind of paneled sort of construction methodology. So Panel Packer also allows working with central models. This really doesn't involve any alien sort of methodology to Revit. So as without all of our software, this works alongside or together with Revit. So we're kind of bound by Revit rules and the environment. So Panel Packer obviously allows for working with central files if those are located on the local access network or wide access network like a cloud server. It will be no problems actually. And as you notice, the Panel Packer is configuration-based software, which allows you to create desired panel layouts when it comes to prefabricated wall, roof, floor panels. These could be precast concrete individual elements put together in a bundle, actually. So that's pretty much the idea behind Panel Packer in a nutshell. It's quite a short demonstration of that. So I would encourage you to activate the trial and have a look at the Panel Packer and what's available. Feel free to go to the eHelp once you activate the trial and download the sample project with default configurations, something like we've seen today, and you can kind of try to apply Panel Packer functionality to the sample project or create a new project, or if you have your own existing projects. So you can contact us as well. You can see the email, it's info@agacad.com or helpdesk@agacad.com for a quote or just some general questions or technical questions, or perhaps a demonstration of the product. We can do that for you as well. And you can visit the Agacad webpage, in which you will find the Panel Packer section, which we've looked at the start, and kind of take it from there pretty much. So that's kind of it for today for Panel Packer. Thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. I will see you in the future webinars. Thank you. Have a good day.
Agacad, building BIM together.